Have you ever noticed how the past has a way of whispering, even when everything around you is silent? You try to sleep, but your mind replays old scenes, words you wish you hadn't said, decisions that changed everything. It's as if each mistake reaches out to tug at your sleeve, reminding you of what could have been different. In Japan, there's a word that teaches something the West is still learning: how to release the weight without erasing the lesson. A word that turns regret into strength and guilt into clarity. That word is Hansei, and within it lies a philosophy as simple as it is profound. Looking back is not the same as being trapped in the past. It means recognizing, learning, and moving forward. Imagine a warrior after defeat. He doesn't run from it. He doesn't pretend it never happened. He kneels before his failure, studies it, and rises stronger. That's the difference between repeating the past and evolving through it. Today, I want to show you how Hansei can transform your relationship with your past, and maybe finally set you free from it. In Japan, Hansei is more than just a word. It's a mirror. It means self-reflection, but not the kind that keeps you stuck in what went wrong. It's a conscious pause to understand why something happened and how you can do better next time. From a young age, Japanese children are taught the value of this practice. After an event, a mistake, or even a victory, they gather to reflect. What went well? What could have been better? This culture doesn't look for someone to blame. It looks for ways to grow. In Japanese companies, Hansei is at the heart of continuous improvement. When something goes wrong, leaders don't point fingers. They hold Hansei Kai, reflection meetings, where everyone acknowledges their share of responsibility and turns the mistake into a stepping stone. In the West, we're taught the opposite. Hide your failures, pretend everything's fine, or find someone else to blame. We live in a society that mistakes regret for weakness and introspection for wasted time. But the Japanese understand something essential. Mistakes are inevitable. Learning from them is a choice. Here's the insight. Hansei is not self-punishment. It's self-awareness with courage. It's saying to yourself, I could have done better, and I will do better. It's the moment when the past stops being a ghost and becomes a teacher. Think about the contrast. A samurai who denies his defeat never grows, but the one who faces his failure with humility becomes invincible, because he understands that every scar is a lesson, not a sentence. And this is where the philosophy of Hansei becomes a path to freedom. It's not about erasing what has passed, but illuminating what can still be transformed. The first thing you need to understand is that Hansei isn't a complicated ritual. There are no candles, mantras, or long hours of meditation. It's a state of awareness. The moment you pause, breathe, and say, let me understand what really happened. When you do this, something shifts. The mind that once attacked begins to observe. And in that observation lies the true power of Hansei, the power to turn the past into wisdom. Think of a simple situation, an argument with someone you love. In a rush, you respond with anger. Later, silence comes as punishment. That's where Hansei steps in. Instead of trying to justify or forget, you ask, why did I react that way? What inside me was hurting at that moment? This question isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. The second thing you need to understand is that Hansei only works when there's humility. In Japan, an executive who makes a serious mistake might bow before the team, acknowledge the error, and commit to improvement. It's not shame, it's honor. Because a person who sees themselves clearly has no need for masks. And it's fascinating how this practice changes the energy around you. When you acknowledge a failure, people don't see you as smaller. They see you as human. And that's exactly what opens the doors to trust, reconciliation, and true growth. There's something few people realize. Carrying regret is, deep down, a form of ego. It's the belief that you should have been perfect. But Hansei teaches that perfection isn't about never failing. It's about never stopping the process of learning. As long as you punish yourself for what happened, you'll keep repeating the same pattern, only with new faces, new settings, and new disguises. But the script stays the same. Hansei breaks that cycle. It invites you to look at your mistakes with the calm of a monk and the resolve of a warrior. To say, yes, I failed, but now I understand. And when you understand, the mistake loses its power over you. Picture a forest at the end of autumn. The leaves fall, but there's no sadness in their fall. There's wisdom. They know they must let go of the branch so that something new can bloom in spring. The same is true for your past. You were never meant to hold on to dead leaves. You were meant to blossom again. Many Japanese masters teach that Hansei is the hidden secret behind constant progress. Every training, every failure, every small defeat is a mirror showing you where you still have room to grow. That's why a swordsman refines the same strike for decades, not in pursuit of glory, but in pursuit of refinement. And that refinement is born from quiet reflection. Here's the deepest point. You can only practice Hansei if you're willing to forgive yourself. Without forgiveness, reflection becomes torture. With forgiveness, it becomes transformation. So next time the past knocks at your door, don't run from it. Sit down, pour yourself some tea, and listen to what it came to teach you. Maybe it doesn't want to punish you. Maybe it just wants to show you the path to being wiser tomorrow. Hansei is that sacred space between regret and a fresh start. A space where you understand that every failure is simply life's invitation to become more aware, lighter, and more whole. You might be thinking, but I don't have time for this. My life is hectic. I can barely breathe, let alone reflect. That's where many people get it wrong. Hansei isn't about time, it's about intention. You don't need to retreat to a temple or fill pages in a journal. All it takes is a moment of clarity before bed, an attentive look right after a hard conversation, or that instant when silence appears between a mistake and the impulse to react. Those seconds are Hansei's sacred ground. You can practice it in traffic, in the shower, while washing dishes, or on a walk. It's not about stopping the world. It's about pausing within, because those who live on autopilot repeat the past, and those who reflect rewrite the next chapter. Hansei fits real life, not an ideal. It's a calm thought in the middle of chaos, and it always begins with a simple question. What can I learn from this? The past wasn't made to haunt you. It was made to prepare you. Every mistake, every fall, every painful silence carries a seed of wisdom waiting to be understood. And Hansei is the soil where that seed takes root. When you learn to reflect without punishing yourself, something shifts deep inside. Guilt loses its grip, fear softens, and peace begins to bloom in the spaces between your thoughts. You realize that what happened doesn't define who you are. It only points to who you can become. So the next time you feel the weight of the past, remember, you don't need to forget it. You need to transform it. Because those who learn from the past don't carry it. They use it as a bridge. If this video got you thinking, subscribe to the channel. Every week I share a new idea from Japanese wisdom to help you grow, evolve, and find balance in the chaos of modern life. Until next time, and remember, a true warrior doesn't fight the past, he learns from it.